I'm gonna keep my keep my topics.
Yeah.
It's gonna be last one, you man.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep
Alright,
some
for sure.
next week. We'll have
Alright.
another special episode.
Keep them in suspense.
Yep.
Keep them.
I'm keep you guys waiting.
keep 'em
Only two
waiting.
stories from me this week. Hit me with it
Anticipated.
though.
All right, so Gears of War 5. Yeah, so that comes out tomorrow on the day that we're recording this. Or it comes out in its pre-release state. I think you can get it early through Xbox Game Pass.
Fair enough.
And I've kind of been amazed by how many dominoes Gears is lining up to stealthily be one of the biggest games of the year.
Oh my gosh, optimistic Zan, I'm here.
And this is
Talk to me.
I am not a Gears of War fan at all. Like last weekend, I went. I've never played Gears of War because I've always been like a PlayStation guy, right? So I went and played Gears 1, 2, and 3 just to get a feel for them. Didn't really like it.
It was,
I think in large part it's just not my thing. Right?
Yeah, fair enough. It's weird style of gameplay compared to a
Yeah.
lot of games out
Yeah,
there.
I'm more of like a character action type person. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but I think it almost has more potential than the upcoming Call of Duty game.
Wow.
And
Okay. All
and
right. You better have
yeah.
some backup
And
points,
this is
mother
once
fricker.
again, I would not have ever thought we'd be in a place where I'm looking at Gears of War 5 and expecting more from that than Modern Warfare.
All right, hit me with your reasons because there's
Yeah.
got to be some definitive points out there, man.
Okay, so first of all,
Definitive.
yeah,
This ain't no NIP investigation. Give me some definitive points, my boy.
they're doing so much right with this game. First of all, the writing is really strong, actually, surprisingly so. Like I've watched a lot of the campaign gameplay.
Yeah,
in
me
between.
too.
Yeah, Ninja streaming, and I watched Skill Up's review and everything, and there is like some tight writing in there. Like
I
really
won't
good.
deny that. Not a
Right?
huge storyline guy myself either.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I mean it's not even like pure storyline stuff. It's just like good like clips, really good like back and forth between the characters and stuff, right? So it's got that going for it.
back and forth between the characters isn't storyline?
No, not. I mean,
Question mark?
if I'm talking to you, well, no, yeah. If two characters are talking about what they had for lunch, is that the story?
It's part of it, man.
Is it?
It's an offset
doesn't
story
do
to the
anything,
storyline.
if
You
they're
know
just
what?
having a
I'll
conversation,
shut up.
yeah.
You keep going.
Also, it's super cheap. It's super cheap to play Gears.
How much is it?
I mean, obviously, retail price is still $60, right? But you get it with Xbox Game Pass.
Super cheap.
You get it with Xbox Game Pass. You can get Game Pass for a month for $1, or 2 months for $2. I think I paid $4.99 last weekend, and I got it for 3 months. And I was just like, oh, I can just play Gears 5.
But can you keep playing it after 3 months, or do you got to buy it by then?
No, you gotta buy by then, or you keep using Game Pass. But I mean, it's not like Gears is the only thing on Game Pass.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
You know, I mean, and that's like no money. That's less than lunch in most situations.
Yes.
Just to play like a AAA, really well put together game.
Uh-huh.
Not only that, it has the most accessibility options I've ever seen in any AAA game ever. Like accessibility meaning like, say, for people with disabilities or even just people that don't want to mash buttons for QTEs, tons of those, right?
Okay.
And as a result, it's been getting tons of good press, like across the board, glowing reviews, amazing stuff to say about it. And ahead of release, Call of Duty is getting stuff like, oh, this game should be banned, or we should censor stuff in the game.
Hey, COD's got some. Hey, don't listen to him, guys.
Yeah.
COD's got promise in my books. Okay,
I'm not
I don't pay
saying-
attention to that negativity.
See,
Don't get me.
Jake,
Don't get me started, man.
I'm not saying these people are right to say that stuff, right? I certainly do not believe it. But if you look at the press around Gears, it's all like, look at this really actually surprisingly well put together war story that's really solid. And look at all these great things they're doing for accessibility. And look at all these things they're doing specifically to support the LGBTQ community.
Okay, so they got their fine lines. They got their strings down. But you need
all the celebrities that are in the game. They got Batista in there. They've got Terminator and Sarah Connor.
Characters, storyline,
Yeah.
your fine line communities out there. They only get you so far. They
Yeah.
got their stringent communities covered. Okay. But when it comes to a successful long-term or just in general a big success, you need a solid multiplayer.
Which it looks, by all means, it looks like they have.
And that's going to be tough competition for a Call of Duty, which could be the best we've seen in the last decade. Just throwing it out there. Yeah, thanks.
It could be.
It might not be.
It could be.
It could flop like a fish. It could be bad. But I'm just saying.
I'm also very much looking forward to Call of Duty. But with the way Call of Duty's worked in recent years, I can't like I'm really worried about buying the game because I don't want to support a game.
Hey, you're not the only one, man.
That's gonna have like a red dot sight.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I think you have a solid argument here from what you told me so far, especially with the doubt that is always around a Call of Duty title.
Yeah.
There has not been a year in the past 5, if not more, that people have not doubted it, and we have good reason to.
Yeah, it'd be so easy for them to just not.
You got pro players like Scump. Literally a couple days back on Nate Shot's podcast, he literally goes, "Oh man, it looks good. Probably is gonna suck, but it looks good." Like. That's what that's the state of the game. Now, it is the first ever cross-platform, so I'll give it that. I think great things, but I definitely think you have a point in that. Just kind of a deflect. I think there's arguments on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
and I hope it does well. There's a lot of good Gears teams out there. X-Optics being one of them.
They did something super smart, I think, with Gears. Is they had their first multiplayer review with Esports, and they have a mode in the game they designed specifically for Esports.
Wait, what do you mean? So is it
like they made the game mode specifically for esports? It's called Escalation. It's made specifically for competitive play.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So how's it different from multiplayer? Does multiplayer have several different game modes?
Yeah. There's
and then there's like esports itself.
Yeah, I think everybody can play Escalation. The article I was reading on it didn't have too much info, and I think they're kind of keeping that close to the chest to a certain extent.
Would it be its own playlist? Because not just one game mode.
Yeah, I think it would be like because there's horde mode, obviously. There's escape. There's standard like TDM or whatever.
Yeah.
Pardon me. And then they have this mode called Escalation, which I have not heard of anybody making a game mode just for esports, and that might be the smartest thing I've ever heard of for an esports game.
Unless it sucks.
I mean, people have been saying it's good.
And then they're going like, okay, we should go back to what we used to do. Which I guess they always could. So
yeah, they always could. I don't know why everybody doesn't do that. Well, that would probably fix some of Overwatch's problems if they just had an esports mode.
Take away some maps, why don't you?
Yeah, right.
Please, for the love of God.
Right.
Have, like you said, make it seasonal. Yeah. These are this season's maps. These are next season's maps. Oh my, we're not going to get on that rampage.
Yeah, just dial it down a bit.
So Gears of War 5 can maybe compete with Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
I could see it.
I'll give you some percentages. I'll give you a chance. I'm very curious. I hope they both don't flop. I just cross my fingers one of them does well.
Yeah, I think right now I think Gears has a better chance than COD.
You guys can leave your thoughts on that down below. I'm not sure I agree with that one, but we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll place my bets on COD. You place your bets on Gear.